Do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
No, not at all.
Oh, I see.
It's the 50th anniversary of this amazing masterpiece by Stanley Kubrick this year. I think when Thierry heard that I was working on what I refer to as an unrestored version, that is to say, I'd gone into the lab with Warner Brothers, we looked at the original printing elements and said, okay, why don't we make new 70mm prints from these original elements and give the audience the experience in 2018 that they would have had in 1968.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
The idea of bringing it to Cannes, when Thierry suggested it, it was so exciting. I mean, you want to be someplace with a sense of the history of cinema, someplace that stands for the history of cinema, as Cannes does. And so I'm very, very excited to be here and very excited for the screening on Sunday.
I haven't seen this particular print before. I've seen the film many times.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
I first saw 2001 when I was a child. I was about 7 years old. And my dad took me to see it in London on the biggest screen on 70mm film. And I've never forgotten that experience. To me, that experience has come to stand for the possibilities of cinema, the escapist possibilities, the thought-provoking possibilities, the idea of the screen as a vehicle, a window through which you can take the audience on a tremendous journey.
Well, the sets were extraordinary. It made Disneyland look sad. I had never seen anything like that before. But it was very helpful. We were in such realistic circumstances, a realistic set, even though it was a projection of the future and what space vehicles would be like. But it was an extraordinary experience.
I remember him coming home from when he was shooting Full Metal Jacket, and he was covered in dust and from explosions and things, and then straight into the office and more work. So he drove himself very hard because it was his film, it was his babies, so he took care of them.
I imagine now, that Stanley might look at us and would be so astonished that his film, 50 years later, is still as up to date as it can be. Nothing has changed. We are still totally ignorant about what else there is in the huge universe. And I feel totally justified for him to have taken this bow to the unknowable, because that's what this film really does.
I think I understood it better then than I do now, because I think the film, in a way, is not complex. It's actually primal and simple, but thought-provoking and resonant. And so it stands for pure cinema. It's an experience that you have that if you analyze it too much or you try to analyze it in linear narrative terms, in simple terms, in terms of words or story points, it's elusive. It's really the experience and the emotional experience of going on this journey that is the point. And I think in a way, a young person, I mean, I was very young at the time, but I think I was open to that experience and just accepted it, the spectacle of it, the wonder of it. And I think that is really the point of the film, the point of the narrative. And I'm very excited for the Cannes audience to get this experience on Sunday night.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.